Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today is our first day at our new time, so I'm excited to be here to be part of that. It wasn't so fun getting here. It took me about 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I share that with you. I want you to know how much I love you. I love this community so much. And I wanted to be here with you today to celebrate this new, this new chapter in what is the life of Unity of Fredericksburg. And today I'm talking about the power of the Word, the creative power of the Word. And how I picked this topic for today is I had a conversation with someone and I heard all the cliches. I heard them all. So we're going to talk about those today. And I know that you will have heard some of what I'm going to share with you today. How many of you have heard, don't say that, you will manifest it?
Mm-hmm. That's a unity thing.
That's a unity thing. I would say it's a new thought thing.
Yes.
Right? Don't say that, you will manifest it. Don't talk about that, you will feed it energy.
Yeah.
How about the universe doesn't understand negative? I don't want that. The universe will interpret as I do want that because it can't understand the negative. These drive me crazy. So I'm going to share with you why they drive me crazy. So we're going to work backwards. So the universe doesn't understand the negative. Let's just think about that. What you're saying then is the vastness of the universe. God, the mind of God, cannot comprehend something that you're saying. Really? The universe understands your message. Whatever you're sending out, God, the universe, whatever language you want to use, gets it. And we'll talk more about that later. What was the second one I said?
Feed it energy.
Don't talk about it or you'll feed it energy. So what happens when we're afraid to talk about something? Fear is a powerful energy. Has fear ever stopped you from doing something you want to do? That's how powerful the energy of fear is. Fear can change the trajectory of our life. That's how powerful it is. So let's imagine if we're afraid to talk about something, just imagine the energy that's going into whatever that thing is. Again, we'll talk more about that. And the first one was, don't talk about that or you'll manifest it. And it's kind of the same thing as the fear thing. Don't talk about your problems with your spouse because you'll just make them worse. Oh. my whole body I just want to scream. And the reason these cliches are out there, the reason we repeat them, the reason that we teach these things is because they're an oversimplification of something based in truth. So there's some truth about what we say and don't say this and do say that. There's some truth in there, but the way we understand it overall it's just an oversimplification. So we're not understanding the truth principle behind it. So that's what I really want to dive into today, is the truth principle behind the creative power of our words. So we're going to let go. You can pick it back up later if you want to. You don't have to buy what I'm selling here. If you want to pick it back up later, that's fine. But for now, just for the next handful of minutes that we have together today, let's set down the idea that we're not supposed to talk about certain things. Or that if we talk about bad things, they will happen. So let's just set those ideas down for a little while. So I've shared with you many times the alchemy for manifestation. Thoughts, words, emotions, beliefs, and actions. Tweba, yes. So our creative energy is in all of that. It's a full body experience, not just the power of the word. But the power of the word is part of that, right? It's 1/5 of it, right? So here's what happens when we're fearful about talking about something. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't talk about it. I don't want to feed that any energy. I'm so scared. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to manifest that. So my thoughts are ruminating on the thing I am fearing. I'm watching what I'm saying. So I might want to say, I came up with this whole Twyla thing when my partner had cancer. So I might want to say my partner has cancer, but people are telling me, don't say that. Don't say he has cancer. And I'm like, well, it's already manifested. So I watch what I say and I nip it. Right? What happens when you have something to say and you hold it inside? It builds, right? It builds.
Festers.
It festers.
It eats at you.
It eats at you. Thoughts, words, emotions. If I'm afraid to talk about something, fear is the biggest thing. What else might I have? I might feel anxious. I might feel responsible for something bad. But fear is the big one, right? I might even be a little mad about something, depending on what we're talking about. Thoughts, words, emotions, beliefs. So what do I believe? And this is the big one, and we're going to talk a lot about this. What do I believe? On one hand, I believe the universe supports me in everything I do. That's why I believe that the power of my words, can manifest. On the other hand, I don't trust the universe. I don't trust God. And here's the truth of it. You either don't trust God to support you in everything you do, or you don't trust your own message. You either don't trust that the universe supports you in everything you do, or you don't trust your own message. So thoughts, words, emotions, beliefs, actions, that's just what we do, right? So I might try to tell other people, don't say that out loud. I definitely stifle myself, right? But I might try to stifle others as well. I might go out of my way to, to get the affirmation, the affirmative side of whatever it is I'm talking about. So let's go back to our belief. You all have heard me say so many times, the universe supports me in everything I do. The universe supports you in everything you do. Everything you do. Because you are connected to God, and that is inseparable. You are inseparable from God. The universe can't help but support you in everything you do. one of the things, I've done it here several times, so I'm not going to play it on you guys, but I'm going to talk about it. One of the things that I do when I'm speaking about these kinds of things, I'll ask people, who believes in cancer? And I'll tell you, nobody wants to raise their hand, right? Nobody, I believe in it. My spouse had it. It almost killed him. I believe in it. So if I believe in cancer, and let me tell you, if you know anyone who has ever had cancer, or if you have cancer, guess what? You believe in cancer. So if I believe something, but I'm unwilling to talk about it, there's a disconnect in the alchemy of my creative process. There's a disconnect there. I've had several injuries to my back and neck over the years. And if you know anything about spines, you know if you have a second injury on top of a first injury, the first injury made a weak spot. So a second injury, even if it's in a different place, can aggravate that weak spot. Now, do I want to claim, and get all the angels to sing for me that I have problems with my spine? No. But am I gonna pretend that I don't believe that I do? No, that's ridiculous. When I can't get up out of bed in the morning with ease and grace, when I struggle to get out of bed, boy, am I believing that I have back problems. Boy, am I believing it. So how do we take these difficult challenges in life and use our words and not be afraid of them? We need to remember what this candle is representing. At the core of who and what we are, at the core of our beingness, we are sacred, we are divine, we are connected to all that is. God supports us in everything we do. This unbiased intelligence that is the universe is conspiring in our favor. And you might say, well, my life has sucked. I don't feel like the universe is conspiring in my favor. Or I've had this challenge or that challenge. And the intelligence of the universe is unbiased and doesn't judge things as good or bad. And our life experience is our life experience. And part of the human condition is being in a finite body. Right? I don't believe any of us will escape death. Do I believe it's possible? Yes, I do. If enough of us got our consciousness in whatever the consciousness needed to be, I believe we could live on. Do I believe that's going to happen in my lifetime? Absolutely not. I don't believe that. So I'm not even putting forth any of my energy into that. Right? So given that we are living the human condition and we are, bad stuff happens. We're not here to do our spiritual work to avoid bad stuff. I actually thought that. I'm a little embarrassed to admit. That years and years and years ago, I thought if I just did my spiritual work and if I just got it right, then bad things won't happen to me. I hear a couple agreements in the back. But the truth of the matter is, we do our spiritual work so we can move through those difficult times with more ease and more grace than we otherwise would have. We do our spiritual work so we have the capacity to get through those life situations. We all know people who have overcome things that make us go, oh my gosh, there's no way I could have gotten through that. And we all probably know someone who had what we might consider a minor bump in life, and they had a complete breakdown, and it took them 12 years to recover. Now, we can never know what's happening on the inside of either people on the end of that spectrum, right? We can never know. But for us, our job as human beings, I believe, is our purpose. Your purpose is the same as my purpose. Now, how that shows up is going to differ for all of us. But your purpose is the same as my purpose, and that is to live the life you want to live. That's it. If you want to be an inspiration to others and, make lots of money and open an orphanage or a food pantry, that might be how your purpose manifests. My purpose is really being solid in living the life that I want to live, so solid in that I can help others live the life they want to live. That's how my purpose shows up. So our words do have creative power, and they also won't condemn us. If you say, I am sick, the universe knows you are acknowledging a temporary condition. The universe is intelligent. When you say the words, I am sick, that is I with a lowercase a, m. When you declare that I am a manifestation of the divine, and you are trying to get your thoughts, words, emotions, beliefs, and actions to all feed into that affirmation, that's an I with a capital A, M. And the universe, God, knows the difference. So stop being afraid to say I'm sick. Stop being afraid to say my back hurts. Stop being afraid to say my spouse and I are having problems. She's being a jerk. The universe isn't going to all of a sudden make your spouse a jerk for all eternity. That's ridiculous. And part of how I came to all of this is, in my own personal studies, of course, we learn about the power of the word and all that. It's so much deeper than what's out there, right? Than this superficial, simplistic understanding of it. But also, do you know how many times I said, I am so stupid? For almost 3 decades, I said that. I am so stupid. That's an I am statement. If it's true that all I am statements manifest, I would not be able to coherently talk to you today, because I said it so many times. Every time I made a mistake, every time I said something that, wasn't fabulous, every time I remember I burned a pizza once. And the reason I burned the pizza is because my kid fell down and I had to clean a scraped knee. And I said, I'm so stupid. And it was my oldest son who said, Mommy, you're not stupid. You had to help Jakey. Out of the mouths mouths of babes, right? So I hope that what you take away from this is that it's okay to say the words. In fact, I think it's not only okay, it's required. Because it's those things that we don't talk about, those things that we're afraid to talk about, that live inside of us with an energy that the universe is hearing. God is listening, not just to your words, but the energy and the vibration that you are putting out. And that's why our thoughts, our words, our emotions, our beliefs, and our actions all contribute to what we are creating in our life. Are you telling me my time's up? Question.
I'm confused because you are saying that our words are powerful, but you would said that so many times that you were stupid. But so what was it that brought about the opposite?
So I was saying I am so stupid. So the question was, for those who couldn't hear and those online, I'm confused. You said our words are powerful, but you said I'm so stupid so many times. What's that about? So I was saying those words based on my belief in my early childhood conditioning, right? I mean, we all have that, right? I'm not the only one with childhood stuff, right? So we all have our stuff. And I was saying that, but that is, I had the words, I had a belief, but I also had, and I had thoughts, but I also had my actions, which were working towards a different reality. I'm constantly educating myself, constantly trying to learn new things, learn more, learn the right answer. And my conflicting belief in that was part of me knew I wasn't stupid. Part of me knew that that was not a truth with a capital T. Part of me knew that that was a truth put upon me for whatever reason, for however that happened. That was a truth that wasn't really a truth. Part of me knew that. The universe also knew that that was not a creative statement. I was reacting to whatever happened. If I was embarrassed, that's the phrase I said. If I was mad, that's the phrase I said. If I was scared, that's the phrase I said. Right? So the universe came to understand me, because the universe knows me better than I know myself. The universe came to understand that my words, my affirmation with every bad emotion was, I'm so stupid. I was not using my creative alchemy, my thoughts, words, emotions, beliefs, actions, to create the life experience of being stupid. In fact, I was working, much of my creative power was contrary to that.
And presumably you do not say that as often now as you used to.
In the back. And presumably you do not say that as often as you used to. The only time I ever say that is when I'm telling this kind of story.
Wow.
I never say it anymore. It took me 7 years of intention to stop having that tape replay in my head. 7 years. Which I think is pretty good, considering I was saying it for almost 3 decades. So what I want for all of you listening, again, is to set down any fears you have about words. If you talk about something that does not have creative power as a standalone, in fact, the act of not talking about something, so I'm choosing purposefully, intentionally to not talk about something, that has creative power. Because I'm stifling something inside for it to churn and fester and develop. Have you ever had a hurt that somehow grew into something bigger than it was to begin with? Because you never acknowledged it, you never dealt with it, you never talked about it, and then you finally talk about it and you're like, wow, that wasn't half as big as I have been making it out to be for the last 24 years. And that's because when we stifle things, they take on a life of their own. They take on energy. And when we're sending our message out to God, when we're sending out that creative energy, we are always heard. Luckily, when we're in a bad place, we're sending such mixed messages that nothing really manifests. I think that's grace.
Yeah.
I think that's grace. I have had some really, really dark days, and in my darkest of days, I thank goodness that I was sending mixed messages. Whatever we're experiencing, if we're angry, fearful, full of anxiety, all of that, we're probably sending mixed messages. And the tool that I use to move through my fear is I tweba it. I swear again. I tweba that stuff. Because if I'm fearful, I know that I have creative life force energy going to something I don't want. Now, this doesn't mean don't ever be fearful or don't ever be angry or don't ever be, whatever. All of the human emotions are good. Ooh, don't throw tomatoes at me. All human emotions are good. The only thing that's bad is how we might respond from those, from having those emotions. So we're going to do a two-part thing for our meditation today. Let's see, which one should we do first? So let's do our community first, right? So what I thought was let's just imagine tweba, and so for me, I don't have to do it anymore. But in the beginning, this is what I had to do. I had to literally touch my head, my thoughts, my words, my emotions, my beliefs, my actions. So think about that. Your thoughts about your spiritual community. Your words, how do you talk about your spiritual community? Your emotions, how do you feel? How do you feel when you're here? How do you feel when you join us online? How do you feel when you think about your spiritual community? How do you feel when you give? Believe. What do you believe about this spiritual community and being a part of it? Action. Joining us online, showing up here in person, those are all actions, right? What other actions do you have? Do you donate? We need your money. I need a paycheck. We need to pay rent. We need to support our youth in their events. Do you go up to people and say, hey, when you're watching online, do you talk in the chat? Those are all actions. So think about your Tweba in relation to this community, because we're starting a new chapter. We've got a new time. We're going into autumn. We've got a retreat coming up. Got all kinds of things happening. What are you going to bring to the community? How are you going to invest your creative life force energy to this community? So let's just think about that. So let's just take a deep breath. Let's do that 2 more times. Once more. Just start at the top with thoughts. And if you haven't had many thoughts, what would you like your thoughts to be about this community? What words can you say to invest in this community? What emotions do you want to experience in this community? What beliefs have been challenged? What beliefs make your heart sing? How might your actions show up in this community? Imagine in this moment your heart opens up and you breathe into this experience. And you know what to do. You know what is yours to do. Take another breath. focus totally to the self. What beliefs were triggered with today's message? What ideas about the creative power of the word really resonate? And again, bring this whole idea of the creative power of the word into the heart space. Just breathe into that. How might you use the creative power of the word to live your best life? And let's just hold that for a moment in silence. How might you use the creative power of the word to live your best life? Imagine, sense, and feel that your intention is heard. Your desire to live your best life is supported. The universe supports you in everything you do. And the clearer your message, the quicker you manifest. Hold on to the knowing that the power of God is helping you create your life. And so it is.